I was wondering if I can invite everyone to stand up and then just like shake it out. Shake it out. Move your body a little. I see some of the dance moves coming out from last night. Yeah, feel free. Like switch seats, give a hug. Yeah, stretch it. Awesome. Cool. And then sit back down when you're ready. I'm also going to ask you to do another thing because I need you to listen. And I find that in the world where we think so much, we spend all of our time thinking. So for a while, if you could also drop into your heart and listen to me from that space, it would help. It's odd to be 10 years old, so little in the back of a police car. I remember sinking into the seats, breathing really heavy, with sweat dripping down my face from the struggle to get me in the car. I remember not caring that the bumps on the road were hitting my head hard against the glass because in that time in my life, everything hurt, inside and out. I was never alone in the car. There was always a huge towering trash bag sitting next to me, although in hindsight, it was so small considering it's all I had. Once again, I was on my way to a youth detention center, driving past all these houses, and my imagination never failed to fill the houses, not with birthday parties, not with stories of mom packing lunches, but simple things, watching TV next to someone. I wondered so much what that sense of belonging felt like, and even to this day, viscerally, it's hard for me to feel. Sometimes I was numb on those rides. Other times, I was wise enough to realize that the rage inside of me was actually just profound sadness. I was in there because my mom quit. Her struggle with manic depression and addiction finally led her to snap, and so she picked me up from school one day, and she dropped me on the doorsteps of an underfunded child protection agency with an overworked social worker way too tired to deal with me. The next day, I was in the American foster care system. And the cars of those police and the Toyotas of my social workers became a place where I learned how to be okay with intentionally and consistently starting over. The system is broken. It often harms the very children it looks to protect. It re-traumatizes us with varying levels of abuse that way too easily happen behind revolving closed doors. In 8 years, I was in over 15 placements. Detention centers, runaway shelters, and when there was no space or abuse, I'd run away and sleep on the streets because the reality is it was often much safer than the houses the system chose to give me. The average foster youth right now changes home 13 times, the average. For the hundreds of times that I must have asked adults, why is this happening? Every single adult blamed the system, never looking me in the eye and walking away. This is especially shocking to someone like me, because even then I could clearly see just how connected all of my challenges were to one another. My school was not a safe place. It shoves learning down our throats. My poverty meant I was stuck to have access to only unhealthy food that led me into a medical system where no doctor was asking me where these symptoms were coming from, if it was about the food or the stress that I was constantly under. He just gave me pills. I spent a ton of time wondering what would happen if we put all of our focus, energy, and resources into just transforming one of these challenges. What would happen to the rest? There's no such thing as no impact. My story pushed me to become radically responsible, which was so hard because it meant I had to let go of blaming the system too. I chose radical responsibility for the change I wanted to see in my life and for my communities, because if I didn't do that and I waited for the system to help, I would have killed myself. Or I would be on drugs like all the other kids like me who can't move beyond the pain.